Yes, we are live, legends. How is everybody doing? I'm going to go through the comment section just to say sorry, guys. I'm actually a few minutes late. Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Yes, we are live. Make sure to destroy the like button just because of my few minutes of being late. Let's just all smash up the like button, legends. We got over 20 likes already. Absolutely epic, guys. Let's go. We are live. What's going on with Bitcoin? Are we going to absolutely destroy $70,000 today, Friday, or are we going to be maintaining a range into the weekend? We do have some options expiring today, around about $5.2 billion in options that are expiring today. We did have already a little bit of volatility. I'm going to explain a little bit what happened throughout yesterday, okay, and also what's happened today in the Legends trading community, giving you a little bit of the levels, the scenarios. A short that was mentioned in this range, I personally got stopped out from that short position. I will be explaining right away. It's from this zone right over here. I'll be talking about the different scenarios. 𝗕𝗏𝗆, also one of the coaches, about a long position in this level, playing out absolutely beautifully. And we'll be just going through the different scenarios. Did manage to jump into the short yesterday at the $68,500, and I had stop loss at the high once we got this major rejection. Now, it's a kind of trade that I wouldn't have got into just going to sleep, but as you know, I thought, it's a small position, stop loss is in place, right? And if the price were to go to higher levels, then it is what it is, right? You just get stopped out, you move to the next one. But regarding yesterday's live stream, we were talking about the possibility of the price going to higher levels, very likely, beautiful level of resistance, but the probability was actually going to higher levels to have an attempt in getting to 68.5, 68.6. We managed to go to 68.8 almost. And yeah, we basically got the rejection right over here. So overall, everything pointed out for that leg to the upside, okay? We'll be talking about the reasons of being bullish yesterday and looking for that leg up. The reasons of this level to respect as resistance to get the pull back down. And we're going to go through the internal levels of today and this volatility and what is the highest probability scenario to happen in the next coming days. Eventually, at some point, taking out 69,500 and actually going above $70,000. Now we're going to talk about the different possibilities, all depending on what happens throughout the next coming days. I do believe that if the price were to manage to get all the way up here to $69,500, the highs from Monday, we will likely not successfully move to the upside. Of course, if we were to correct down, claim this low, then eventually I would be looking for the price to successfully move above the highs from Monday. All of this has an explanation, of course. We're not just going to do some random Picasso drawing here with basically some random stuff, right? We're going to be taking a look here at some Fibonacci levels, the timing, a bit of Elliott wave theory, and why I believe that, yes, if we were to come up all the way up to these highs, based on this movement to the upside, this does no longer look very impulsive. And if we were to claim the highs right over here, I would bet that we will come back down and claim these lows. And to the other side, if we were to claim these lows at some point, either with a swing failure pattern, failed auction, or with a breakdown, we will likely come up to this high right over here. And there's one main reason, okay, about this. Well, it's the three-wave structure that we did create throughout the last few days. When we move to the downside or to the upside, right, we want it impulsively with 5 waves preferably, right, where we do know that it looks pretty impulsive, either up or down. In this case, just because of this 3-wave structure to the downside, there is only a few possibilities, but they're not too bearish. They're not the kind of bearish moves, all right, that you would be looking at to come down to 50K. All right, so likely that we are going to get above 69,500 at some point in the next coming days, all right? Whatever happens here, all right? And I'm going to give the explanation why and what are the levels and scenarios that we want to take into consideration. Yesterday, we mentioned the high probability of pushing to the upside. We had so much liquidity sitting above us, 68,200, 300, 400, 500. There was just a lot of liquidity, and we wanted that liquidity to be swept, all right? That did happen, as you can see here with the price action, right? We did have that sweep of liquidity to the upside, and we were just very much expecting that move, okay? It had high probability, and it all was because of the internal counts of the waves. I want to talk about that video right away because I went to visit the moon show, okay? I went to go and see Maurizio, Mr. M, and also 𝗕𝗶𝗵𝗴𝗫. Very nice to see them. It's been quite a long time without seeing them, but yeah, just basically checking out, went to the moon show and went to see Maurizio and Mr. M, okay? Mr. M and Effe. Mr. Effe, I was going to say. If you don't know, guys, of course you do know these guys. They're absolute legends. So nice. They're so nice. Great people. Just went to see them today. Now, let's go right away through the technicals because I've been kind of compounding into some trades. It got stopped out at an extreme minor loss because it was a great entry and I just had stop loss in place. And I will be explaining that trading setup that was mentioned in the Legends trading community. Potentially some traders got stopped out at break even. Maybe some of them got aggressive profits. I got into a short position in this level right over here. It was a beautiful rejection, great risk management. We had a movement down already in a 3-to-1 risk to reward, okay? It was a pretty nice shorting level, all right? I was, betting on the possibility that this low was going to be claimed, okay? Just purely based on the structure, on the waves. I was, thinking, we're very, very likely going to get that leg to the downside. However, analyzing this price action, we just forming 3 waves consistently throughout not only the last few days, the last few weeks. If you count higher time frame movements, we forming here 3 waves. More internally, we got 3 waves here. More internally, 3 waves there. 3 waves right over here, and we were speculating very much that we were going to go all the way up here yesterday to the 7/8 Fibonacci, and we actually mentioned an internal long position yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys remember. This was, if anybody took this trade throughout the last few minutes of the stream, right? I was just mentioning, guys, I do think that we're going to get that push to the upside, based on a little bit of micro counts here, and looking for a possible entry round about the 69,950 zone with stop loss just below this high right over here. I mean, if you manage to get into that entry, it was a good profitable trade, okay? We got a little bit of a wick volatility. We can go through this scenario, and I actually compounded to my long that I had and taken all of the profits already. So let's analyze a little bit this scenario, okay? Because what was disturbing, just really basic, guys, just going quickly through, the reason of this short. It was, the lower highs that we had throughout today, right? The movement down early this morning, and we were speculating on this possible short trade just to grab liquidity and hit the golden pocket, right? Just keeping it relatively simple for the viewer. Golden pocket, sweep of the highs. I think it's an acceptable short. We can manage risk very, very well. The stop loss is extremely small because the overall entry point was coming all the way up to sweep up the highs right there. And, the entry and the stop loss is, extremely small. So we did manage to get the leg down, but then, I just got stopped out from that position because I went to my CrossFit session, and, overall, it's just such a small stop loss that it doesn't really matter. So we got a major wick here to the upside and then back down. And of course, why did we get this? Well, we're just consistently forming 3 wave structures. we're just consistently forming three-wave structures. Three-wave here, three-wave here, a three-wave right over here, another three-wave here, and another three-wave right over here. So, hey, could we form another three-wave right over here, right, and then get a bounce? Well, we'll be talking about the different levels and the different scenarios to look for some day trading opportunities. Okay, so make sure to destroy the like button. We're going to keep it nice and chilled today, Friday. I know it's Friday evening or Friday morning, you know, wherever you are. Maybe some people are not interested in, you know, taking a look at technical analysis. Just chill throughout the weekend, but we are here just to be ready for certain levels. Weekends are great for ranges. Okay, so ranges, especially SFP levels, can get very, very respected. We'll be talking about some internal levels as well for the weekend for some nice little scalps and day trades for the viewers. And yeah, first of all, let's go through the comment section right away. Okay, let's go through comment section and say hello to the beautiful community, and then we'll dive in through the technical analysis for Bitcoin. Let's go right away. Go through the comment section, say hello to everybody. Aditya, my brother, thank you very much for joining. Let me just check that we do have our background drum and bass, and we'll be diving in, guys. There should be some more people joining in. But overall, the scenarios from yesterday, we need to go through what we mentioned yesterday on the stream. Muy importante. We always go back through, hey, what did you talk about yesterday, right? Were the levels respected? What kind of volatility happened? Was it easy to enter that kind of trade that you mentioned? You know, what went wrong? What went right? Okay, we always do that regardless if it was a good call or a bad call, right? We just don't suddenly forget about what was mentioned yesterday. We cannot do that. If we're wrong, we're wrong. I come out and I apologize. We need to do that, okay? But I have to say, a lot of the times, you know, sometimes it's right, and we need to talk about it, right? We need to talk about what was mentioned yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about that 68,500 to 600 to be hit, and very possibly create that rejection, right? It was a little bit difficult, okay, because we did tap it, went slightly below, then went back above, and then the rejection started, and then we did get a drop of over $1,000 from that level. But it was analyzing the waves throughout yesterday. Hey, we've been forming three waves here, three waves here. This is no longer impulsive. This is corrective. So what we're looking at here is just another three-wave move up to round about the 1-to-1 most commonly. And there was a lot of confluence here. So the price did not manage in the end to break through successfully from that level. And we mentioned yesterday that there was extreme high probability that these highs right over here from Monday are not going to be taken with this pump. This pump is likely going to top out in this range, and that is basically understanding the structure and the price action. Okay, this is no longer looking impulsive. It does not look strong. So we are forming three-wave structures. And when you form three-wave structures, it is corrective. It is not impulsive. Of course, if this would have been bang, 1, 2, bang, a 3 right over here, bang, and a 5 like this, and then we got some kind of correction, either in just a regular zigzag, right, in an ABC, then I would have said, guys, this looks bullish. This looks, you know, pretty nice, the correction to actually get a smack out here to the highs. But we were understanding throughout yesterday's stream, you know, hey, this is going to move to the upside from where we are. And yeah, we're going to lose power somewhere in between, right? The 7-8 Fibonacci, right? The 68.5, 68.6. We actually almost hit 68.8. We did get a bit of a wick. But overall, it did drop over $1,500 approximately, right? So it's understanding the waves and basically understanding that, hey, this move to the upside has very low probability and actually taking out 69,500. It's just not going to reach there, and it's going to get a pullback of several $100s, if not more than 1,000. And I can give that brief explanation because what is more important here for you, for the viewer that is watching, is understanding, why, how come you realized on the analysis yesterday that we were not going to push through successfully above the 68,500, 600 range. And even though not yet hitting that level, the probabilities was going to higher, understanding that there was quite a lot of liquidity as well, sitting, above 68,200, right? 68.2, 68.3, 0.4. There was just a lot of hundreds of millions of liquidations right there. So everything pointed out that we needed to get that squeeze, get up to this level. And as we understand the structure of the market, it's like, we're likely going to pull back down from this level, which it did, right? This speculation move to the upside while we were trading here throughout yesterday's stream was right over here to get the pullback, right? And this was explained throughout yesterday's stream. If you wanted to go and check out yesterday's stream, I don't want to bore the people of what we mentioned yesterday. You can actually take a look at yesterday's stream. We'd actually talked about why it was high probability in getting up there, why we're likely going to go to those levels. It was explained yesterday, so I think explaining it again today is just not going to be. Just watch yesterday's live stream throughout the beginning, middle, and just so you can understand a little bit, right, the structure of the market, so you can use it in your favor for the next moves in the future, right, for your trading strategies. Now, let's zoom in throughout. Also, we need to go through the lower time frames, right? Let me just basically put the levels here that we had yesterday. Well, I'm not going to put all the fib levels, but let's just go to the lower time frames because I think we were analyzing the lower time frames here on the 1 minute time, the 1 minute time frame. Okay, then we go through what is next. I think we do have a high chance in claiming these lows. Okay, I think there is a high probability. You may ask me, is it a good swing failure pattern? Is this a good swing failure pattern level? We'll have to go through the analysis right away. I'm a little bit skeptical on this. I'm really a little bit skeptical on this to be a swing failure pattern. We'll talk about why, the different scenarios. Let's go right away. And also, did anybody get into this long scalp? It was just as I was finishing the stream, the price was starting to cross the 382 Fibonacci, and it went slightly below the 50% and almost hit stop loss, which was the high. Stop loss was exactly just below the high right there, and we were targeting the highs. I mean, the risk to reward was not huge, but I can go quickly throughout that and explain. Well, you can actually see the end of yesterday's stream, why we were looking at this movement higher based on liquidity and also based on micro counting these waves. This was no longer looking corrective and finished as an impulsive move up, which was likely just to form a higher low at specific Fibonacci levels, 382 50%, not hitting the 618, and finally getting the push to the upside just for a nice little scalp long of round about, $400, right? Nothing too serious, but it's, $400 of a move on Bitcoin is pretty good for a scalp. So that was basically diving in here through this price action, okay? And it had a pretty sharp move to the downside, right? Look at this. I mean, it was just right over here, right? We were having the price action in this area throughout the end of the stream. And we just gave the explanation that we had a lot of liquidity above us and we are likely going to succeed in moving to the upside, speculating on a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and look for a fourth wave right there to then form 5, okay, to the upside. It ended up very impulsive, very, very fast. And we wanted kind of a 3-wave corrective structure. We wanted the 382 from this pivot low to the pivot high, 382 to 50%, and looking at an entry point from this zone with stop loss just at the highs right there, basically, and look for the highs to be taken again. And that was just understanding very much that we have more liquidity. We broke out pretty solidly, and this wouldn't make sense for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just didn't make sense. It would make more sense for a double 1, 2, and then obviously 3, 4, 5 to the upside. And yeah, basically understanding the fib levels, understanding the invalidation level, and just looking for a quick little scalp. Anyway, that was explained throughout the stream yesterday if anybody wanted to check that out. And today we'll be talking about some possible setups as well. So make sure to grab your cup of tea. All right. Higher time frame, very much played out quite nicely. I'm not going to say we hit the exact level. It was relatively hard. We did get the push slightly above the 7/8 Fibonacci. We did extend a little bit more from that 1-to-1, that wrong tool, 1-to-1 right over here, right? It did extend a little bit more. We also had the 0.78 Fibonacci from this move, right? There was a lot going on here, and it was also purely based on the three waves that we were moving. It's like, guys, we're likely going to top out somewhere in this range of 68.5, 68.6. We got a push of a couple of $100, slightly more, and then we got the rejection. Okay, then we did get the rejection. So overall, taking a look at this on the lower time frame, you know, it was not easy. It was not easy because we did get above it, right? And it did continue pumping. So for this here, there's really no short to be taken in trying to detect the highs, just because of the danger, right? I do not know where to put stop loss if I'm entering a trade here. And, you know, just before going, sorry, my bad. It's not this one. It's this one. I'm looking at the wrong peak at the level. So yeah, basically shorting in this movement, it was very volatile. Is for me as a stop loss situation. I don't know where to put stop loss as we pumping very aggressively. So once we got the rejection, I got into a small position just before going to sleep and having stop loss here, and it was still in that position. I actually compounded ever so slightly on that position with this movement up. And yeah, basically, you know, stop loss was still in place and you wouldn't have got stopped out regardless, right? If you do trade the rejection from that level that was mentioned yesterday, as you're above it, you're really not that interested. Of course, you don't want a huge massive wick and then short here and stop loss here, but this was still relatively acceptable. And just by understanding, by all means, the three-wave structure that we had here to the upside, to that level, right? It's like we need to top out very likely at some point here and get back inside of the channel, right? We're also speculating on that and getting back into the channel after hitting that level, right? So, you know, hitting that level, eventually getting above, you know, a couple $100 more, but getting back inside and rejecting from that point, very much understanding the exact level. So right now, let's First of all, before we start analyzing the local situation and trying to come with the magic of technical analysis, right? Because technical analysis is magical. It's very nice if you're right? And if you're wrong, you need to know where to have your stop loss if you are going to trade it. Very important, right? You're just not worth having. I'm going to build up a short position. I'm going to build up a long position. Do not trade like this. I need to remind people because I do get DMs saying I need help because I am underwater. And I was like, do not be underwater, right? Have invalidations, get stopped out. And people asking me, should I add to the position as it should reverse and stuff like that? And I'm like, no, do not do that. One of those moves, one of those trades will hurt you, right? I'm not sure how much amounts you're using, but you don't want to trade like that, okay? And I say that I'm the first one to say I could be completely wrong based on the analysis that was mentioned yesterday, okay? I could be completely wrong, and we might shoot up to 70k. So take that level into consideration. As you're above it, you're not interested. As you're below it, you understand the rejection and the possible setup and where to put your stop loss. So always having validation levels, okay? And we're going to talk about some possible setups here as well, right? Certain levels that if we hit, we get back above, then we're good for the trade. Or certain levels of resistance, if we get back below, right, we look good for the trade, right? Looking at those reactions and those failed breakouts. But first of all, we are going to go through the comment section, okay? Sorry guys about that, but just a little bit of a recap throughout yesterday's stream. Go and check it out, guys. Just purely based on education. I know a lot of people are here like, what are we doing? Are we longing? Are we shorting? Guys, education, first of all, because you need to learn how to fish on your own. You need to learn how to read the charts and understand the different probabilities and how to get into the trading setups. I got stopped out today. Yeah, it's you know, because it was just a small position. I also profited very, very nicely throughout the long that, you know, we had here in the Legends community. Also jumped into the short position yesterday, very small position. I compounded ever so slightly with this rejection, understanding that I like this three-wave move, and I like the idea this high is going to be taken at some point, just because of this retracement up to the 0.88, and also this one to the 0.88. So apparently we're going to take these lows first, but these highs are going to be taken at some point in the next coming days. And we want to be in that long trade wherever the low is, right? To take those highs. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. We want to be in that long, guys. It's a really nice move. So we need to talk about the best levels and the best risk management, guys, only here on YouTube, live on the channel. But first, we're going through comment section. Dario sent me here, a good friend of mine from Spain, and told me to smash up the like button. Seb, thank you very much, guys. Destroy the like button. I know it seems boring, a lot of talk here. It seems like we're talking a bunch of rubbish and people want to leave. But here we talk about explanations, technical analysis, the different levels, possibilities, analyzing extensions, the waves, where we could reject, where we could bounce, how we can get into the trade, how are we managing risk, everything that you need to know to trade safely. Now let's go and continue through the comment section. 67,350, a good long entry. 67,350, a good long entry. Well, I have to say, it's the lows of today. 350. Yeah, this slight double bottom here. So. We got a bit of a five waver here. Hang on a second. We do have a bit of a five waver here, so maybe an SFP from these lows is very possible. We do have a bit of a five waver here, micro counting. We already kind of tested the lows. Hang on a second. I would prefer lower levels eventually, just because of it's a bit of a truncated fifth wave. We haven't even tested the low right there, or have we? Have we ever so slightly tapped it? Oof, we front runned it by just half a cent, at least on Bybit. So yeah, what we want to see here is that low being taken. I like this move. There could be a good scalp here, guys, throughout the live stream. There could be an okay scalp. We could actually sweep up some liquidity here and look for a long attempt. I like the level, okay? Why? Because what we're looking at here is a potential impulsive move down and then a bounce. Okay, I mean, this could be an ABC right there, and then we're going to absolutely explode. I mean, I like it. Regardless if this ends up doing this or ends up doing this and then back down, yeah, I like the failed auction from this low. And the TP1 would be sweeping up these highs. Why? It's a classic level. regardless of this being corrective or impulsive lately, after all, just for the speculation of this being an ABC in a flat, which I wouldn't think so based on this structure, but we'll talk about that right away. Regardless of whatever wave or whatever scenario could happen later, I just like it based on the micro counts. I mean, if we were to bounce from here already all the way up to these highs, I would have to say it's an aggressive long position without taking the low, right? It would have been an aggressive long. Let's wait for the wick. You know, most of the times it's highly likely that you just end up taking out the low. Just remain patient. If it leaves without you, it leaves without you, right? There'll be another opportunity. So just remain patient. But I like the idea here of the long trade. I really do like the idea of a scalp. And yeah, we can get ready for that scalp here. Oh yeah, this is the long that I was compounding. This long that I compounded already, all of the profits have been taken, was purely based of yesterday's setup. Just as I was finishing the stream, we got the leg down and I compounded to that long position and took most of the profits as we were moving up. This was a long position that we were already in the Legends trading community down here. And I actually added to the position based on yesterday's setup. So the trade was all the way down here. I added to the position, and as we shoot it up here above 68,400, 500, you know, that was the zone where I was already taking profits and getting ready for the short position. So we can close that trade, and we probably can get, you know, we can get ready here for a long setup at those lows, right? I think it's a good scalp. I think it could be a good scalp. Let's just get ready for that setup, guys. We're just about to take the lows. Would be nice to take those lows, and yeah, we can get ready here. Stop loss, give or take 67. Just you always want to get your stop loss ready so you can move it later on, and then look for the trigger of the long. You know, just purely based because I like it, just because of this latest structure. We got a 5-wave move here to the downside. Regardless of what happens later with a very successful bounce or a very impulsive 5th wave, it will be hard. Let's just talk about the levels of support just in case we do not swing failure pattern and grab liquidity from this low. If we do go lower, then what is the best level, right? It looks like it's going to happen here on stream. Just take out those lows from today. And when we do this, guys, this is absolutely magical. This high is going to be taken at some point. Taking out this low or not, it doesn't matter. The highs are going to be taken here at some point. So we want to be ready with certain levels where we could be in that long trade. Of course, we are entering into the weekend and we're probably going to be very rangy. I don't think we're going to see any big major moves or breakouts. It's still going to be very, very rangy and very corrective. So let's take a look at some fib levels from this pivot low to this pivot high. We do have 50%. It's slightly below from this low. It's at $67,000. Let's take a look at the next pivot from this 3-wave structure. Pivot low to the pivot high. We do have the 7/8 Fibonacci just slightly below this low. 0.88 where the 50% Fibonacci is from this pivot. If it does break down, yeah, I don't think it will extend too much. There we go. We're getting the breakdown. I think we're likely going to get a bounce. So let's get ready for that scalp. Take out this low and just check if we are going to trade above it. And the stop loss will be very small unless the price, and I would be targeting these highs right over here. Just because it is classic for if this were to be an impulsive move down and it's not part of a C wave in this flat right over here, well, it will end up being a zigzag really. Well, no, because it's gone all the way up above 0.88, 0.9. yeah, just about to take that low. Regardless of whatever this is, if it's impulsive or if it's part of a C wave and then we're going to start impulsively to the upside, it's a good chance just at least to take out these highs, because what we're looking at here is the end of a micro 5-wave move down, a possible ABC. The fifth wave could extend. I do realize that fifth waves can extend, but I like the liquidity grab here from this low. Let's just check that price action here as we speak, and I'll go through comment section later on, guys, but we might get a little bit of a good scalp, a quick scalp long entry here from those lows. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Let's take a look at CVD also. 1 second. Let's take a look at CVD. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, well, we can't take a look at CVD here, really, because we've taken all of the highs. Yeah, I mean, on Bybit, we are very, very much still. They're not too nice. They are not too nice because we've been taking highs all the time already. Yeah, they're not very clean bullish CVDs. They're not very clean. Just because we've taken the highs already, anybody that is not aware about CVD divergence, if you have taken the highs consistently, right, as you're forming bullish CVD divergence, but you take the highs, which is the target zone, all of these ones from these pivots, they're just not that relevant because of the movement to the upside. You've already seen these lower lows and higher lows taking out the highs. So these are great fresh bullish CVDs right over here. These are great because they're fresh, they're new, from this low to this high to this higher low, and then fresh lower lows, absolutely golden. Taken the high, it's played out. But now counting the same level down here to this level, this already took the highs. They're not that interesting. Let's see if we do take the lows right there. I'm going to set the alerts. Let's set the alerts at the low, check the reaction, because I think we've got a pretty nice scalp here all the way up to these highs. At least to these highs. It's a nice move of $500. Hopefully we're going to take those lows in the next coming minutes. If we front run that level, then what can I say? It's very, very hard. Of course, you would be expecting that wick for a liquidity grab and then the reaction bounce to the highs. And it would make sense also looking at the micro counts. Beautiful textbook 5-wave move down, right? And this one also, something similar happened a few days ago, which we did predict very, very nicely. We did predict very, very nicely right over here, right? Textbook 5-wave moves down, and what you're looking at on the 5th wave is actually to at some point get back above, right, the 4th wave and potentially take out the highs. In this case, it did not take out these highs of the 4th wave, almost take them out, but we already formed an ABC internally right there, more of a WXY. So it was all, it was a very, very shallow correction to the 382. Most commonly, you do manage to get to the highs of the 4th wave, in this case to the downside. So we are speculating on the same thing, right? And the same setup, right? You're looking at a 5-wave move to the downside, and you're looking for that 5th wave to preferably take that low. I mean, could it already end with this low over here? If we got a higher time frame, higher low, very close, I prefer for this one to be taken. Yes, it could already bounce from here. This low is so close that I would just prefer it to be taken and then look for the long. yeah, if this higher low is so close, I would remain patient. I would realize that yes, we could already get the bounce from here, but this is a better level. It's just a better level. But I do realize that yeah, we already could have completed a fifth wave move down here, and then we're going to come up to these highs. But I prefer this one. We're just so close and hitting it. We're going to remain patient. I'm going to set some alerts, and I'm going to go through the comment section right away, guys. Let's set some alerts right there. Move the alert just at the low. See if it does get tapped. And if not, we get the bounce to these highs over here. Anyway, we'll go through higher time frame, but this is a good setup. I think it's a pretty interesting setup. A scalp level to level. Let's see if we do get that. That's the clearest one that I do see here right now. And we'll be going through higher time frames, okay? The only internal setup that I do see available is this one. For a short, of course, yeah, we need to see a bit of a bounce. I think, you know, I like the idea of this moving down in a 5-wave move. Depending on this bounce to the upside, I want a 3-wave micro move, okay? Claim these highs, and we'll be analyzing if we do have any bearish CVD divergence, right? See if we could potentially form, hang on a second, let me refresh this because, and let's go to the 3-minute. Preferably here, which I don't think is going to be the case. We are forming some bullish CVD divergence from this pivot. We're just so close, so close. These are good bullish CVDs, but yeah, we're just so close and taking the lows. I prefer taking out the lows and then jumping into the possible recovery, me personally. But I understand it could already bounce from here. I will remain patient and see if this low is swept. But we do already have aggressive shorts entering here. We do have lower lows on the CVD. There's a lot of shorts entering here. We have ever so slightly higher lows. We're just not tapping that low just by a few dollars. Yeah, it could bounce from here, legends, based on the bullish CVDs. The thing about entering here, I mean, yeah, you could put a stop loss. I mean, the risk to reward is still pretty good. And yeah, you could have aggressively entered that long position and just accept the stop loss. You're kind of targeting these highs. Yeah, and if the price would have taken out this low and you get stopped out, then you re-enter again once you SFP, because the overall projection is pretty good. The projection here based on a 5-wave move down for a 3-wave move to the upside, it looks pretty damn good. So yeah, anyway, alerts are set. If you did get in, you know, I preferred this one right there. But let's go through comment section. How many likes do we have? Alerts are set. I'm going to go through higher time frame scenarios as well, guys. Looking at the different probabilities. All right, micro scenarios, they are there. The alert is set. And we're going to talk about what could happen throughout the weekend, right? What are the major levels that we want to be paying attention to, and what are the different scenarios? We'll be building up, okay, the different possibilities, just like we did on yesterday's stream, looking at the rise and get rejection here at 68.5, 68.6 to get that pullback back inside. So we'll be doing that right away. But first of all, we are doing comment section quickly, and then we'll focus on Bitcoin, trying to understand, you know, what the heck is happening here and what is the next moves of interest on higher time frame, right? Lower time frame, I think there's a good little scalp long, like mentioned. Okay, just for anybody that wants to be ready for that scenario that could happen in the next coming minutes, could potentially bounce already. But we're going to talk about higher time frames just so we're ready for the weekend, okay? Just in case I don't do a video update. Already 200 likes. Let's go. Absolute legends. Right. Comment section. ICP. There's a lot of altcoins. Most of the people, most of my viewers are here for Bitcoin. That is what we focus on, guys. It does take some time to analyze properly, because when I get asked an altcoin, I'm like, yeah, this is support, this is resistance. Yeah, very quick and very choppy and very unprofessional. And we focus on professional, right? Well, I want to believe so. on Bitcoin, right? Looking at the levels and invalidations and, you know, extensions. It does take time to build up the different scenarios. Okay, so we will do that on Bitcoin right away. And altcoins, oh my goodness, you know, just bullish CVD, says Aditya. Yes, we do have bullish CVD divergence. Why am I? Hey Andy, hey guys, let's smash the like button. Long time no see, my man. TA Professional Channel Andy, thanks very much for the kind comment, my brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really want to try and 9K incoming, says Andrej Bear. Oh, you have it in the name as well, that you are a macro bear, right? 9K in your dreams, says CryptoMate. Andy, say you on the Moon channel. Yes, I did jump in onto the Moon channel, okay? The Moon Show. Very, very cool, guys. Mr. M, who has an incredible podcast channel. He gets insane people on his podcast, guys. Mr. M podcast. Shout out to him. Make sure to check him out. And also, you know, FA, absolute legend. Crypto Kid. He's only 17 years old. I think he's about 17 years old. And he's already wearing a Rolex on his hand, right? So, yeah, basically an absolute legend. Such a great, bright kid. He's absolutely, you know, pure inspiration here. Just 17 years old, absolute legend. Anyway, went to the Moon Show, crashed the show, and said hello. If you want to go and check it out, you know, yeah. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. Alerts. Let's go and check here the price. We got the alerts. Are we breaking down? Are we getting the bounce? We're just crossing through the level right now. So not interested in anything just at the moment. We need the price to recover back above those lows, and we could have an attempt. Let me just quickly go through here. Whoa, we're breaking down a bit aggressively. We're actually getting supported ever so slightly from this point of control. This looks, whew. Yeah, the fact that we lost this high volume node as well is changing a little bit of the game. For the moment, dropping quite aggressively. And we are forming a bit of a large wick right now. Whew. Or not wick, a large candle. There we go. Shala. Breaking down. We're going to have to come with another scenario, because we're just breaking down. We just did not get a reaction here at that level. And I don't think we have any major confluence. We're just hitting 0.88, and we're actually below 0.88 from this move. It's just breaking down. I do have the short from yesterday. Who is still in the short from yesterday? I actually still had stop loss here above the high, and I compounded ever so slightly with this move, realizing the three-wave structure that we had here as we were breaking down. Got stopped out on a scalp trading setup. I think there's no quick. Let me just quickly look, guys. We're forming a little bit of a waterfall. We don't want to catch any falling knives. Golden pocket is all the way down here. Below this low. Let's take a look at the extension from this move down to this move here. Yeah, there's not too much. I don't like the 382, 236. I prefer the 1-to-1 or the 1.618. The 1.618 is sitting where we have these lows right there. very, you know, very hard to not interested in catching this falling knife, and obviously not interested in getting into a short right now on the drop, just in case it bounces back up. The preferred level that I do like, taking a look at the 1.618 extension here. Let's take a look at CVD right away. Lots of shorts entering on Bybit. Woo! Lots of shorts entering on Bybit. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at CVD. It's going absolutely crazy. It's going absolutely crazy. Let's refresh CVD. Zoom out a little bit. It's not a major move down. It's just for the moment it's $400-500. Yeah, we're still building up those bullish CVDs. So yeah, maybe a level here of interest. We're just printing bullish CVD divergence right now with this drop from this pivot, okay, which could continue, but I like it. Lots of shorts entering here, lots of, and they're not big whales, they're just small amounts, at least on Bybit. So we need to analyze here what would be the best level for a bounce. Okay, for the moment, breakdown from the lows, pretty aggressive. I mean, yeah, well, I was looking at this micro count of 5 waves. Could we be forming a little bit of an expanding very possible, very possible. It is possible, yeah. Just like we did have the other day, guys. Who remembers about this expanding 5th wave, 5-wave move to the downside? It could get aggressive. We got an expanding 5-wave move down here the other day, and we just bounced at the support, and it got very aggressive. So we could really speculate on that scenario here. That this ended up in an expanding. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it could drop. Could drop to sweep those lows. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Yeah, I like the idea. Let's take a look at this level where we could get the bounce. Yeah, I do think a sweep of these higher lows could be the level, guys. It could be the level. It probably is going to happen very, very quick. So let's get ready for that scenario. It's a good bouncing level. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being the 5th wave, the longest in an expanding move. Very rare, but it happens. Just like it happened right over here. I think we could get all the way down to this level and get an instant bounce. Let's see. 1.618 is sitting at 66,200. Just as we do sweep up these lows. Let's take a look at Fibonacci for the moment. Very falling knife, guys, but we got a level. We got a possible level. We're just hitting the golden pocket right now. We're just hitting the golden pocket from this move. I don't like it personally. Let me just check the compounded short position that I do have here. From the short of yesterday, I did add a little bit more. And we need to pay ourselves. Yeah, I need to pay myself so I can afford lunch tomorrow and dinner. Because I do think we could get a bounce at those lows. We're probably going to jump into a long position here. I think we're going to just lock in some profits here as we're just going to hit those lows, and we're probably going to get that bounce. We're going to take over 50% of profits on that trade. This was trade from yesterday that I compounded in ever so slightly. Yeah, massive falling knife. We're just about to sweep up those lows. Let's see if we do hit the 1.618. We could get into a very aggressive scalp long here, in my opinion. We just swept up the lows. It would be nice to hit the 1.618 extension. You just swept those lows. Still very aggressive. I would want to see here the 1.618 hit. It would be nice to get that 1.6 and get in a potential aggressive long. Very aggressive movement down. Volume is pretty punchy. We just ever so slightly SFP'd from this higher low. Would prefer the 1.618 extension from this movement. Catching falling knives. Oh, we just SFP'd from that low. It would have been nice to actually hit the 1.618, but it did SFP very aggressively, guys. Take this as a scalp. Take this as a scalp. We did sweep up the lows from the movement that we've had from yesterday. It's the first higher low. It would have been nice to actually get one more dip. I'm gonna take a look here at the lower time frames to see if we do form a bit of a double bottom. Could bounce from here. It could definitely bounce from here pretty successfully. Yeah, I would have preferred to hit the 1.618 from this move right there. A bit aggressive for a long, but anyway, not sure if any of you guys decided to jump into the long from that low, because yeah, but you need to be an absolute sniper, right? You need to be a sniper. We're going to come down on the next. I might attempt the next attempt here. We might get a next attempt here, and I'm going to put stop here at 66,100, just getting ready for that long position if we do hit the 1.618, because it would make sense to get the bounce. You're just going to remain patient to see if we do get that leg down. It's a bit of a falling knife, but falling knives don't go on forever. If you're good with your levels and your risk management, you can have an attempt. See if we do have any naked point of controls here. We just broke through from this naked point of control. Just kind of breaking through. It could get that wick, hit the 1.618. Moving down quite aggressively. But 2, 3. Just a little bit concerned of this being a much larger third wave as well. Just a little bit concerned of 1, 2, 3. Yeah, very falling knifey. 1.618. 1.618 has just been hit. Very aggressive, I have to say. Very aggressive. You could have a baby stop loss, but I do see it aggressive. It is just there. It's crossing beneath it. Let's take a look at fib level here. It's really a falling knife. 𝗬8 could be the one that gets the reaction. Well, oof. It is a bit aggressive. The situation here is a stop loss. Yeah, I do like the idea that it is going to get a bounce. We're going to get into a small scalp long. Just based on these waves, looks very expanding. It does look like that this area. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very aggressive 5. Poof, you're just breaking through, hitting the 7-8 right now from this movement. Muy agresivo, muy agresivo. 7-8, ever so slight touch. Still below the 7-8. .88 next. Still below that level. What a major drop we got in a matter of, yeah, almost. What was this, guys? $1,500. Still see it very aggressive. It is going to bounce at some point eventually, but it's very falling knife. Yeah, 7-8 is getting the reaction. I don't like it that much. Very aggressive long. Very, very aggressive. You just have to manage risk with stop. I don't like it too much, to be honest. I do realize the possible bounce here at the 7-8 Fibonacci, but I mean, stop loss could have been, you know, slightly below as you get the reaction from 7-8, and it does look like expanding. It's a good level to take profit regardless as well. Still continue taking profit from this short. Yeah, quick reaction bounce of a few $100. A bit too falling knife here, I have to say. A bit too falling knifey for my style. I don't usually like to trade this kind of volatility going against the trend. Internal SFPs are good, but yeah, the aggressive chance was at the 7-8 here. And you know what you're speculating on is on this descending broadening wedge, right, or a descending expanding diagonal right there. Very, very aggressive, but it was the 7-8 is the one that got the reaction. Not easy, not easy. But overall here, if it does bounce from this level, you've formed a 5-wave move to the downside. You really could expect the price to, you know, get a pop out here throughout the next coming hours, just based on a 3-wave structure. Not easy to catch this long, I have to say. This was not an easy catch. But it did make this, it was kind of a very similar move that we did have here throughout a few days ago, right? Also an expanding move in a clear 5-wave, and we also got the one here, and it almost kind of hit the low right there of the support. An expanding 5-wave move Would have been nice to hit that low, but overall, you know, not easy at all to catch that. The only way that would have been possible is basically the 7/8. The 7/8 fib, and this looks like it's getting an epic bounce right now. You know, if you wanted to catch the falling knife, you really had to pay attention to the fib levels. Eventually, I would never short a major move down like this. I would never enter the drop, realizing when you analyzing the movements that you are going to get a bounce at certain levels, but we were just breaking through the 1.618. The 7/8 Fibonacci was the one from this pivot low to the pivot high, and it also made sense based on the expanding move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now epic bounce. And I do think this bounce at some point will come up to these lower highs, which is the wave 4. That was not easy to catch, guys, here on the live. I'm not sure if anybody of you did catch the long. We were looking at the 1.618 from here. It was still coming down, but it was the 7/8 Fibonacci was the level, and also almost the support from the the descending broadening wedge, right? Not easy. Whoever's shorting late as well, you know, these major falling knives are not good for shorting. So yeah, it was not easy, not easy here to get into that execution. Of course, stop loss would have been, you know, beneath that 7/8 recovery, right? It would have been beneath that 7/8 recovery. 7/8 right there, almost hitting the support from lower lows. If you're in that long trade, I think there's a high chance we're going to get an epic bounce. You know, this is why, you know, we want to collect most of the profits from that short position, because I realize the significant bounce that we could get here. But yeah, the 7/8 reaction was the level. We could still manage risk with a tight stop loss. You know, this could potentially get you that 4-5 to 1 risk to reward, because I think there is a chance, based on a expanding move down, that you're possibly going to break out in the next coming hours to claim up these highs. Let's take a look at the VWAP. Anybody that is, you know, got into that long position, let's take a look at VWAP here right away. VWAP is round about this area. It's just at the resistance of lower highs. Would be an acceptable TP1, right? Lower high resistance with VWAP. But it does look pretty good for this to be, you know, a 5-wave move. Now you would be expecting a kind of a 3-wave move up, right? At least at a bare minimum. Will it end up being impulsive just because this has been the 3-wave move, right? Poof. Not an easy long. I got stopped out by the 7/8 and then re-entered at 66,160. Absolutely epic. You got stopped out at the 7/8. So yeah, your best shot would have been the recovery of the 7/8 and just accept the loss here as you're recovering just slightly beneath that low. Very, very aggressive, because we were waterfalling very, very, very aggressively. But it had to bounce at some point, either 7/8 or 0.88. You know, the problem was here was the lower low support. The lower low support not being tapped, descending, expanding, right? 5-wave. You know, this 5th wave had to finish at some point in this zone. So it was either the 7/8 or it was either the 0.88, or, you know, we're looking at the 0.618 from this expanding, right? It was crossed. It was actually slightly above the 7/8 Fibonacci. But it wasn't, you know, the faster the move down, the faster the move up you get, right? So yeah, this is no zone to short This was no level to short. It was getting ready to catch the falling knife in this case. And the main reason why was because of the completion of this 5-wave move down. But it was not easy to catch this. Not easy. So I'm pretty aggressive. It was either the 7.8 or the 0.88, which was just at the lower low support. And if you did get into the scalp long, well, and the move is already bouncing $1,000. We're getting that volatility, Friday volatility, because the markets are closing, right, very soon in the coming hours. And we do have that options expiring today. I'm not sure if these options have expired, but I would have assumed that, yeah, I haven't checked the options really. There's more people bullish than bearish. Anyway, could we see the next corrective move to enter again on longs? Next corrective move to enter on longs. Well, yeah, as we formed this 5-wave move down, as we form this 5-wave move down, let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if we do form a 3-wave structure, not an easy level to catch, but it definitely a level to start thinking of taking profits if you were in short from higher. If you were from shorts from higher, this was a good zone to start collecting the profits. As we've had this 5-wave move down in this descending broadening wedge expanding diagonal, right? Now the idea is we get the initial wave to the upside, which is happening now. And we should be having a 3-wave move up at a bare minimum. That's what I would be speculating on. So this corrective move is going to be looking interesting if we do get one here, because we might have it here, or we might have it from here. Still quite fast. I think a fast move down to catch a higher low is just going to be too aggressive. We're getting that Friday evening volatility, options expiring today. So the volatility is very much real, as we can see. We did drop over 1,500 in a matter of minutes here. What I would be, possibly interested in here is, just a 3-wave move down and speculate on this move to the upside, looking to claim these highs. And basically a breakout of the descending broadening wedge. The fact that the price almost hit yesterday's highs gives you high probability that they're going to be taken at some point. The 68.8K is going to be taken at some point, guys. This is no zone to be extremely bullish or extremely bearish, because we are going to create a wick fest here. We ain't going to break out from $70,000 successfully in the next 1 to 2 days, and we're not going to break down successfully beneath $65,000 in the next coming days. Will we manage to tap it, right, and get and continue the range, especially for the weekend? That is what's going to happen. So if you are shorting these levels or longing these levels, make sure to take them as day trades. For whoever's thinking that we are going to go to $72,000 by the next 24 hours is very delusional. And we want to scalp the levels, guys. We want to scalp, take profits, trade the range. So if you did jump into that aggressive falling knife, which has bounced over $1,000 just at the 7.8, I would already consider VWAP, which I think is going to be taken. Yeah, I think we're going to break out here. We're actually going to pump. It would be nice to get that retracement, because I think if we were to get a retracement here, I have to speculate, especially if we do have bullish CVD divergence, right? This is the thing, right? If you miss this long, it doesn't matter. There's another trade around the corner, right? And potentially it would be an easier one, a much safer one, and not trying to catch the falling knife. Regardless, catching the falling knife, you know, we very much understood the technicals and understanding this descending broadening wedge, right, on a fifth wave move down. So it would be nice to get a correction, but I do think we're going to pop out from here with or without a correction. It's going to pop. Hopefully the VWAP is going to provide that resistance. It would be a good take profit one if you did get into the long. If we do get the reaction, if it breaks out, you would want to maintain that long position. Just if you did long the 7/8 Fibonacci based on the speculation of that fifth wave, and the speculation of this fifth wave already started here, but we were just falling down very aggressively. If you did get into that long position here, I think, yeah, this zone already, lower high resistance, VWAP. I do think that we are going to get a, you know, if we do get the movement down, I think it's going to pop out. So it either pops out from here or it corrects and then it pops out. Because overall, we're looking for at least a 3-wave move. And it might end up being a 5-wave move, right? We don't know. It's very, very possible. But for the moment, at least at a bare minimum, we're looking for a 3-wave move to the upside. And it would be nice here to see a pretty decent, normal corrective structure moving in a 3-waver, right? Let's just analyze that situation here. It's we were going to do higher time frames, guys, but we're getting volatility and we want to focus on the internal levels, right? Higher time frames is like, yeah, we'll leave that for tomorrow during the weekend when it's more chilled. But it's Friday evening, we got options expiring and we're getting the volatility. So let's just, you know, look for the different day trade scalping levels. But yeah, I am looking for a pop out here. We have I think we have high probability that this area is going to be claimed 68k. We're going to get back, and this was, you know, very nice $2,000 move on Bitcoin. I think it's just likely going to happen. So let's see if we do get that pullback. If we get that pullback, you know, I would be speculating on another wave up. So you get the rollover and then the pop out. Just because we formed 5 waves in an expanding, descending, broadening wedge, if you wish. Would be nice for that pullback. It would be nice to see some bullish CVD divergence. I mean, all of these shorts that have been entering as well are getting squeezed out. Many shorts entering here. We had the bullish CVD divergence on the higher time frame, right? Higher time frame from yesterday's lows. No, yesterday's lows. Sorry, before yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, sorry. Yeah, Wednesday. Would be nice locally here to form the bullish CVD divergence, which I don't think is going to be the case. Would be nice to get a move down here, form those lower lows, get a higher low here, absorption, bang, look for the break up here. If you did catch that long position, I would consider taking some profits here. I would consider taking some profits at lower high resistance. We're just about to hit the VWAP. Just lock some profits if you catched the 7/8 and the end of this 5th wave. Very falling knifey, but we had to bottom out somewhere here. It had to happen. 7/8.88. Anyway, let's go right away. 71k is coming this tonight. Yeah, very possible. Why not? Yeah, very possible. Very possible. Who catched the long position, guys? Let me know in the comments section. I didn't catch it. It was a bit too aggressive, too volatile, but we were realizing here where the price could have bottomed out. A bit more of a steep descending broadening wedge, right? Expanding. But the 5 waves were very, very clear. They were very, very clear, the 5 waves. It had to bottom out at some point here. Let me know. Me, got it. Botan says, catch the long. Devil the Legends. We did. Devil catch the long position. Absolute legend. We catch the falling knife. It had to bounce. It had to bounce somewhere in this zone, right? It had to bounce. 7/8 Fibonacci was the one that got respected. Very, very nice. We're hitting VWAP right now. We're hitting VWAP. VWAP for all of the scalp lovers is always a good TP1. Make sure to pay yourself. But yeah, it was looking very, very good. My whole idea was just a regular 5th wave, but things were getting aggressive here. And it ended up in a expanding diagonal here in a 5th wave. Similar to this one right over here. A bit more steep. It did steep out, very aggressive steep. And what I do like about this, is amazing. I mean, this would be, oh my goodness. I don't think it would be the case because it happened very quick regarding time. But someone saying in the comment section that we're going to 71k tonight. My goodness. Wow, that would be insane. That's a $4,000 pump. But the fact that we have formed, and it would be, let me just double check here. Oh my goodness, the EMA ribbons. I don't know why the heck I got this on the chart. Screw that. The fact that we formed a 3-wave move here, and Devil will probably agree, and we formed a 3-wave move here, and we formed a flat here, because it could be a flat. I have to say that maybe not $71,000, but $70,000. It could be, but it wouldn't make sense based on the timing. And this is like looking at very, very, very complex corrective structures regarding Elliott wave. But I have to say, it's hitting VWAP. It's hitting a bit of local resistance. Make sure to pay yourself, guys. It has had a bounce of $1,000 if you did manage to get into the 7/8 Fibonacci. It has got a relatively good bounce, but it's kind of long that you would leave a bit open because, just in case, and I'm going to explain why. You have a zigzag move here, a zigzag here throughout yesterday, and yeah, I mean, let me just take a look at the extension here on the flat, because we did hit the 1.618. So for me, this, I mean, it could still be the flat without a doubt. It could still be a flat. The whole thing about this, guys, is a WXY, and we're going to absolutely rock it tonight to all-time high. No, only joking, but you could give it a valid count based on, let me just, the possibility of this. It would be too quick based on the timing. It could be too quick based on the timing, but when you form a zigzag in W and a zigzag in X, you have either a potential triangle here, you have a potential flat, and yeah, that's basically it, triangle or flat. another zigzag. Well, it was basically another zigzag here, really, because you did not take this high. Flats can be counted as you hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, which we did right there. So 0.9 was hit. So you can consider this as a flat. Just hitting the 0.618. So just based on this rule, but the timing was very, very quick. Let me just quickly take a look here at the timing. Trend-based Fibonacci time from this high to this low. Okay, so this X did finish after the 382. And let's take a look from the Y to the X. Yeah, this one also finished after the 382. So I have to give it a possibility, guys. We could give it a possibility. You know, this ain't been a moon guy suddenly out of nowhere. But if we were to successfully pump here impulsively to take out these highs, and even the highs right from today above 68.8, I would have to say that it's very much valid. It's very much valid based on the counts that we do have here, formed in a zigzag throughout yesterday that was talked about throughout the stream, right? We're looking for that zigzag up here, finishing the last zigzag here to get the corrective move just round about the 68.6k zone, right, where we had the 1-to-1, the 7-8, looking for that level for the rejection. And throughout today, we've had this scenario, which is you could count it as a flat because you hit the 0.09 Fibonacci from this move. So yeah, it could actually be a WXY completion. Looking at the timing based on each waves. But what would be the bearish case, right? What would be the bearish case? I have to say. Yeah, because this flat, I mean, yeah, it just makes perfect sense. It just makes perfect sense now looking at this expanding Browning wedge. That there is a chance to break out pretty nicely throughout tonight. Because you do have the A wave here, the B wave here, and 5 wave moves down in the C wave in this expanding diagonal right over here. It would make sense for the price to actually start moving up from, you know, it could move successfully. I wouldn't be surprised, right, if we were to move up from here. It could be a completion of this corrective move. There is a possible count. It could actually pump, guys. It could actually pump after this move to the downside pretty successfully. So what I would be analyzing on lower time frames, right, is breaking out from that descending Browning wedge, getting a bit of a struggle here at the VWAP, but it looks like it wants to push. It wants to push, guys. Whoever catch the falling knife, I would say leave some open. Leave some open because the bulls have a very good chance for a big fat recovery right now. Y wave can also end in a 5-wave structure like it did. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Zen, my man, last shakeout before the big move. Yes, it does look like. It does look like it, guys. It does look like it. We got the big shakeout and the price could absolutely V-shaped recovery, guys. I have to say. Especially as this movement here, the thing that we did not take the high here. Oh my goodness, this is like, this high is going to be taken at some point. It's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner rather than later, taking out the high from today at 68.8k. And I have to say, the bulls have a chance. The bulls have a chance. So let's see if we do get that correction. I like this 5-wave move up. Anybody that has missed the long trade, I would be looking at a pullback, okay? I would be looking at a pullback because it does make sense. This is very one wavy right now. Wherever this ends up, it's very one wavy. So we would want to see a wave to the downside, and that would be your second ticket, right? You miss the train, and the train could continue ripping, but we might have a second chance for whoever missed the train if we were to correct down here. This is very one wavy. So this would be the speculation here would be, can I detect the second wave and look for the next wave up, either in a third wave or in an ABC, right? We're just still continuing with this macro structure. But the fact that we've formed 5 waves down here after this scenario is like, oof. You need to give the bulls a chance, because we've been forming 3-wave structures throughout the last few days. And the fact that today, from this high, we have formed clearly 5 waves down here gives you basically the understanding, right, that this could have been a flat structure or even a regular zigzag. Very possible, as we did not take that high. However, it's rare going all the way up to the 0.9 fib. 1, 2. Yeah, and this is no longer looking bearish as well. This is just does not look bearish. This movement down and this move up, retracing so close to this high, extremely rare for a wave 2. Getting above the 0.88 Fibonacci, very rare for this to be a wave 2. And the fact right now that we are, if this were to be a wave 3, the fact that we are already at these lows overlapping, there's no bearish count. So the probabilities of actually going higher from this area is just very, very high, with or without a pullback. So a pullback would be very much interesting. I don't want to catch a falling knife like you crazy people have here. I would really want to look for a nice 3-wave move throughout the next hour, right? A nice 3-wave chilled move, a nice zigzag. Keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it chilled, and basically get a bit of a corrective move here. And I would be eyeing the in between 50% and the 618, 50% and the 7.8. Sorry, 7.8 is really low, but this would be my interest zone to speculate on a day trade long. I would be looking at these highs to be taken at a minimum, and it could be a wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, or a A, B, C. 1, 2, 3 makes more, could make a bit more sense based on this movement down. Could be a completion of this corrective move. But yeah, I would be interested in this 3-waver. I don't want to catch a falling knife. If we just suddenly see a massive sell-off from here and it starts boom, 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 I don't want to randomly jump in here like you crazy people jumping in along right there. But yeah, VWAP is providing the resistance, guys. I would just say I would expect a continuation to the upside. I would expect continuation to the upside, but if you did catch the 5th wave here from this descending broadening wedge, right, the 7.8 Fibonacci, getting the reaction finally, I would collect a bit of profit at the VWAP. It is providing that resistance. I am leaning on the side that we are going to push to higher levels, but I could be completely wrong here. But it would make sense for this wave. If it were to correct down, however it corrects down, preferably we do get a 3-wave corrective move. And it might just continue up, I have to say. It might not just correct just yet. But it would be nice. It would be nice to see something like this throughout the next coming minutes, right? The next 30 minutes. Then it would bring a bit more confidence. We're not going to form any bullish CVDs, I think. We are getting shorts entering. We're already forming very, very local bullish CVDs, to be honest. We're already forming some bullish ones locally. But it's very, very shallow for a pullback to jump into a long for me anyway. Preferably, I want to see the 50% 618, and that's where I would consider the speculation of a wave 2 or a wave B. But wave 2, I'm leaning on the side of a wave 2, and things could get punchy by tonight. I would give the bulls a chance. So I want to see this area. I want the price to come to me. I want the price to come to this area and speculate on the next wave to the upside. It has to be in between 7, 8 and 50%. I think that is there is a chance right there. Let's see if we do get that and we do not drop very aggressively. Anyway, let's go right away. Thank you, just double £2,000, $2,000. Lucho, absolutely epic. What an epic. Chilled beer. You guys are absolutely mad. I did not jump into that long. But we were looking at it to bottom out. It was very technical, but it was just the price was just too aggressive. For me, it was too aggressive. But yeah, it did bounce over $1,000, 1,500, and we do have a chance of actually continuing to the upside. Very, very big, nice move here. Yeah, 7, 8. We had this scenario hitting the 0.618, extending from the 0.618. But what was most important here on the lower time frames for me was the expanding diagonal. Looking at the 5th wave here to really finish at some point. And these usually get a massive bounce. From expanding diagonals, you usually get a massive bounce because the 5th wave is the longest wave on expanding diagonals. And when we do zoom out on an expanding diagonal that did happen just a few days back, here, we also got one right over here very, very nicely. I had to say, I did not long this. I did not long down here. I actually detected this late after it happened. But this one was detected as we were moving down. It's like, we should bounce somewhere in this region. Realizing the 5th wave here. So if you did get into the long position, congratulations, guys. This could actually be a pretty decent swing long. It could actually be a pretty decent swing long. I would speculate that these highs could be taken at 68.8. So regardless, it's a day trade still, guys. It's a day trade. So make sure to pay yourself. We are hitting the VWAP resistance. If the analysis is right, we could be seeing those highs taken. But it's a day trade regardless. It was a move of over $1,000. So just make sure to pay yourself. I mean, stop loss is ridiculously small. It's already a 4-5 to 1 risk to reward. But anyway, talking about this descending broadening wedge, right? Expanding. This was also very, very cool to see. Because this is how the market moves, right? You just realize the beauty of Elliott wave theory, right? I really do enjoy analyzing, the different confluence and setup levels. But when you understand, you know, the power of realizing where, you know, we could have a fourth wave and where you could finish a fifth wave and where you could finish, you know, an ABC move, and also an expanding here 1 2 3 4 5. You got 5 3 5, and well, this was more a bit of a WXY. Then, you know, the magic of detecting those levels for the bounces and resistance is pretty epic. So you know, we were understanding that, you know, this area was, the drop was very aggressive, but we had the chance of that fifth wave finishing either at 7.8 or either at the 0.88. You know, it's likely going to get that epic bounce at some point. And the 7.8 was the one that maintained the support. Just wiped up some people's account, I guess. Yeah, for sure. This is a big wipeout from Macro Bulls. Chilled beer, my man. Chilled beer. No beer for me today. Retrace not coming. Same thing as WED. Retrace not coming. The retrace will come when it needs to come, right? I think it would be a bit of a FOMO, right? You would no. This is no zone. There's a bit of resistance. I realize the pullback. It's just being chilled to wait for the pullback, and then then you in your interest zone, and if it moves in a three-wave matter here, if we preferably get bullish CVD divergence, I would really speculate on another wave to the upside to claim the highs, at least to claim the highs again. So there is a nice trade setup here. The question is, will we get the pullback now, right? Will we come down to the levels? Just like yesterday, throughout yesterday's live stream as well, you know, a little bit of, you know, some different scalping setups that we mentioned. This played out very, very nicely. Actually compounded from a long position that 𝗕𝗏𝘆𝗽 mentioned, and I did take profit, and I compounded up, realizing that, hey, we are going to 68.5k based on the analysis yesterday, right? So as we got the breakout, I was happy to add to the position and just compound and just to make the position slightly bigger and get a bit more profits on this movement up. So and the short position, I did enter and I compounded as well on that short from yesterday. I'm just going to leave this open just in case it drops, but I'm, you know, very, very likely going to get stopped out on the rest of the position here. But I'll just leave it open just in case it does get the drop, right? It's already protected. It's a free trade. I do think the price is going to go to higher levels. Guys, remember, for all of those traders out there, I'm not sure what exchange you are using, but eventually Bybit is my #1 trading platform. You do get an insane bonus with the link down below. It's a $500 airdrop, okay? $500 airdrop. It's a free position that you get as you sign up. Just follow the steps as you sign up and you'll be getting free $500 position, and you can keep the profits from the position, okay, of this $500. You will see that once you click the link, you will see right away how to claim those $500 on Bybit, which for me is the best exchange for crypto trading. Of course, then you have the other alternative, which is Bluffing, okay? Bluffing does have a $10,000 deposit bonus, and that is for people that do not want to do KYC. Okay, no identification. You get $10,000 deposit bonus. The more you deposit and trade, you'll be getting airdrops. Okay, on 450, 1,500, you need to be trading, and you get these airdrops. Okay, to your account. Once you sign up with the link down below, guys. Bluffing, great alternative to Bybit. It's a no KYC platform, no identification needed, and they have proof of reserves, which is very important for an exchange. Okay, make sure to check it out. Another way to support the channel, and another way for you to trade on one of the best exchanges with an incredible bonus. I probably won't trade this, guys. It is Friday night, and if I do get the leg down, if we do get the leg down here, I would really speculate on a higher low in this region, in between 50% and 7.8, and I would speculate on a leg up, 50% to 618 preferably. Would be nice to get some bullish divs, CVDs. Would be nice. If you did get in the long, guys, make sure to pay yourself. We're hitting VWAP resistance. This is a speculative potential long trading setup that that if we do get the pullback, I do believe, based on the analysis and how we ended up this descending broadening wedge, with the potential of this flat to get continuation to the upside, that I would be speculating that we could have a high chance in forming another leg up here to sweep up at least these lower highs. Why these lower highs? Because it's the fourth wave, and fourth waves are usually swept with a corrective structure. So the whole idea is here, coming down to 618, 50% 618. It might hit the 7.8, but the whole idea here on this long trading setup would be looking at something like this. I mean, the risk to reward is not huge. It's not huge. It's just like yesterday is a bit of a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I wouldn't go too crazy. This falling knife based on the 7.8 was kind of better for the risk to reward, right? Yeah, it was like, get above the 7.8, sniper, stop, don't risk it. With falling knife here, don't risk it. 7.8 is the one that's getting the reaction. We got the 5-wave move down here. If you would have longed that 7.8 reaction, your entry point, it was just slightly above it, and your stop loss is slightly below it. If you attempting this falling knife, do not add to position. Do not have a far away stop loss. You do not know how aggressive this falling knife could have been. Of course, with the analysis, it did make sense to bottom out somewhere in this zone, okay? But you just don't want to, just don't want to do irresponsible trading. Do not do that. Let's go through comment section right away. Smash the like button. Philip, did you get into the long position? Were you more aggressive than me? Eventually more aggressive than me, because basically for me it was a bit too aggressive. Sometimes you get conservative trades, sometimes you get chilled trades, sometimes you get aggressive trades. This was an aggressive falling knife catch, but we had the technicals, we had the risk management. The risk management is there. 7.8, get the reaction. If you enter, don't put a stop loss down here, or don't add to the position. Just don't do it. Have a tight stop loss. Be happy in getting stopped out in a small position. But the technicals gave us the chance of actually bouncing round about this region, right? I'm not going to say exactly 7.8, but 7.8, 0.88 from this move. This fifth wave has to finish at some point, so the bounce was likely. Anyway, let's see if we do correct ever so slightly here, not too aggressively. Let's go on the lower time frames. We're kind of wanting to flip the resistance of the descending broadening wedge into support, but for me this would be very, very shallow for a long, and I would not know where to put stop loss, so it's a big no-no for me here to get into a long. My interest zone here would be this one. Let's go. Andy, show us your meme coin bag. I got some coins that actually went up, guys. Let me open my ledger bag. let me open my altcoin ledger, and I even got them on Ledger. I use Trezor as well. That's where I keep Bitcoin, Ethereum. I do keep also stable coins. Ledger, I kind of migrated from Ledger to Trezor on Bitcoin holding and Ethereum and stable coins, just because, yeah, it's pretty flat. It's a bit the same. It's an altcoin portfolio that I do have. We're moving down. I shared the altcoin portfolio yesterday. I'm not going to share it again, guys. I don't want you to, I don't want to say this is how many altcoins, this is how much money I have. It's not nobody's business. 𝗕𝗶𝘆𝗽 again. We have some 𝗕𝗶𝘆𝗽 again. Do we? I'm not aware, guys. What's happening with Tether? Let me know right away. What is happening with Tether? We're moving down a bit aggressively. Now let's see if we do get a bit of this. Let's see if we do get a bit of this. A bit of a chilled three waver. Let's see if we do get a three wavy movie right over here. All right, if we do form a little bit of a three wave, then we could be like, okay, let's get ready. Just like yesterday, guys. Yesterday we wanted that three waver from that move coming down to round about the $67,900 range, and we did very, very nicely. This setup did play out very nicely. It was one that we mentioned at the end of the stream yesterday. It was only a move of $400 more or less. But yeah, if you want to check out why we mentioned this, just based on education, you can check out yesterday's stream. I would want to see at least the 50% Fibonacci hit. This would be my interest zone. I mean, the risk to reward is not that massive, because yeah, I would say at least these highs. This would be a target zone that I would be targeting. That's just because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 3, right? And it might just pop out very aggressively, but this would be my zone, just because a 382 is very shallow. 382 is shallow. It might bounce. It's, you know, this is a stop loss situation here. Should I put stop loss here? No, because I'm aware that the price could go down there and then bounce. Yeah, preferably this. This is what happens to traders that are, you know, very conservative, and they're very, you know, just wait for the trading setup, and you miss the trading setup, then you look for the next one, and if you miss the next one, then you look for the other one, and eventually you will get into one. And very safely, right? This is what it's all about. Trading is getting into a safe trade every single time, not just randomly now short, now long, now this, now the other. This is why this one was a bit aggressive. I loved the rejection yesterday from that. My goodness, this was a great rejection. I mean, we did pump $200 more above that level, but this was a, you know, we got liquidity, we're looking for this high, and we're looking for the pullback back inside of, you know, this kind of local channel structure that we formed. This was like, oh my goodness. Guys, take a look at the live stream from yesterday, because we build it up, the confluence and the education and the extensions, and why this, why would it reject here, why would we go up there, right? So I mean, looking for the leg up, looking for more, for higher levels, but understanding that this is the topping zone, and if you get the rejection from the 7-8, that is where you would want to enter the short. Just based on education, guys, even though the live stream is extremely long, you know, the middle bit is where we do take a look at Bitcoin, just for education, because this played out very nice. And also the scalp long throughout the stream yesterday. This we did retrace down to the level. Stop loss was not hit, which was an invalidation. that we had here based on micro counting the waves and finally getting the push up above 68.4k. You want to check out just based on education. Right. Eugen, how are you doing? Yeah, what's going on with Tether, guys? Investigation going on. Philip, thank you for the confirmation. I'm not sure where 𝗬𝗏𝘆 is. 𝗬𝗏𝘆's gone. 𝗬𝗏𝘆 has missed it. Not going to FOMO in. Very good, my man. We do not FOMO in. We do not FOMO into trades. There's another opportunity around the corner. But I know some people in the community jumped into this falling knife. It's not easy, guys. I don't usually catch falling knives unless it's a clear swing failure pattern. But the only possibility of catching this falling knife as we were streaming was the only thing here is that you have is the support of the descending broadening wedge and the 7/8, and as you below the 7/8 you're not interested. As you get above it, you can have an attempt with stop loss beneath the low. It might be the one, maybe it's the 0.88, and then it bounces. But yeah, very, very aggressive, guys. Tomorrow morning, I'm not sure if any of you guys live in Dubai. We're getting the movement down here. Let's see if we do move nicely here to this level. Somebody said that we are going to $71,000 today. I wouldn't be that bullish. Oh, we're dropping down now. Let's get our fibs here. Are we getting some shorts? We want to see some bullish CVDs. We want to see some bullish divs here. We want to see some shorts entering the market. If not, it's not going to be looking interesting. Guys, this was a take profit zone. This was a take profit zone from that aggressive long. This was a take profit zone. I hope whoever longed did take some profits just in case the price doesn't find its ground here. Okay, but this is the interest zone where I want to see the price maintaining as support. And this would be the interest zone to speculate on that possible next wave to the upside. Let's see if we do get that push down to 50%. 618 at a bare minimum. But I'm not sure anybody who's living here. Good entry, my man Alejandro. There is 80 million worth of BTC in bid side at 65.5. 65.5. Yeah, I mean, this was a major liquidation event. Tomorrow morning, I am doing the Arabian Warrior. Tomorrow morning here in Dubai. It is in Dubai Island. Anybody that wants to join in or take a look at it. Anybody that lives in Dubai. I know there's some followers that actually live in Dubai. I'll be doing the Arabian Warrior. I'm very much into CrossFit and all of these different activities. And there is the Arabian Warrior, which is like a Spartan, right? It's a kind of obstacle circuit track, right? It's going to be pretty cool. Anybody that is around Dubai, if you want to join in, and I think there's going to be food trucks and all of that. It's going to be a pretty cool event. I'll be posting some of the stories on my Instagram, guys. This is the I have my own Instagram, personal Instagram with family, but this is the one that I opened up here just for some nice shorts regarding, trading and investing, just some, very basic shorts, basic education. But I'll be posting a little bit of stories of, what I'm doing in my life. If you are interested in what I am doing, guys, check out my Instagram and also TikTok that I do have down below. I don't think many people use TikTok. This is basically for dancing and for, many other things as well. But I don't expect this TikTok to actually do that well. But check it out, guys. I do have the links down below for my socials. If you want to follow a little bit of my personal life, what I am doing here in Dubai. Nothing too flashy. I'm not too much of a flashy guy. But I'll show you, some different activities and stuff that I do there sometimes. If you want to follow up here on Instagram, You got the link down below. For the moment, also posting some, small shorts, right, regarding, what's the best crypto to trade in, what was my worst trade, and just a little bit of my experience throughout the last few years. And what I'm doing tomorrow is the Arabian Warrior, which is, a pretty cool event. I'm a CrossFit guy, so I like to get into these different competitions. Wishing you the best for the competition tomorrow. It's a bit more of a fun competition, okay? It's nothing too serious. Are you going to bring some hot dogs, says Chris. We need some altcoin time analysis. Oh, it's super late. I will save. You know what? If you do join the Discord, I will ask in between tomorrow and Sunday, what 2 altcoins do you want me to analyze on a live stream? Get something ready, get some levels ready, and some possible projections. You have the Discord down below. It's the first link. You got the free Discord, okay? And I sometimes post polls there and, ask, different questions to the community. Make sure to join the free Discord, and I will be doing a poll on, what 2 altcoins should I get ready for the next live stream, okay? And analyze those altcoins on the live stream. I just don't like doing basic analysis on the live stream on altcoins like support, resistance. I want to get something ready, levels and different projections, and bring it out here for the community. Legends, thank you very much for joining today. It was a bit quick. Whoever got into that scalp long must have taken profits. Take care. It's going to be the weekend. Enjoy family time. Have a rest from the charts. Thank you very much for joining. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, moderators. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.